do you want the diversity? Is it really diversity or you want us to be humble? From learning about myself, Brad will tell you, I'm kind of humble, but in the same token, I will say I am good at something. I am the best at something. I am good looking. I look better than you. I will say that because I refuse not to say that. I refuse to waver, never compromise in the face of Armageddon. Never. And that's the one thing I learned about Imhotep. It's the aspect of being black in America and its education system. My school is about to be closed down or about to be bought by a charter school because the funding has stopped. The funding has stopped for all of Philadelphia. That's the real thing. People, we had to borrow money from Wells Fargo this year just to turn on the lights in every school. Do you understand what that means? A school district had to borrow money, like a loan, had to fill out an application for a fucking loan, as if it's not a tax-funded thing. And the real thing, it's not about the institution. It's not about the institution. The institution has already been built to fail multiple people, and the only thing that you can't keep rebuilding something that wasn't built for you. And I refuse, when it comes down to the concept of education, everybody wants to go over and talk about education being fixed by this, and that. Yet, no one really wants to talk about how education is never available for people of color in America. How the aspect of people of color in America learning about themselves is it's mind-boggling. You'd rather not learn about fucking Malcolm X because he was too radical, but you'd rather learn about Thomas Jefferson who fucked his slaves, who raped his slaves, who hacked slaves, who rather praise, and that's the real thing. And that's the real thing. And I refuse to not. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to. You have to take an elective. You have to take an elective for African American history. That's African American history. You have to take an elective. We built this country. So the brown people, so the Asian people, we built this country, and yet it's elective. It's elective. We are more responsible for this history than most people in America are. And the concept of in this city that's 40% black, if you want to really believe that, when y'all way here, did y'all see anybody who wasn't a person of color? In this city that's 40% black per se, we have to struggle for an education that we deserve. And that's the real thing I wanted to say. When it comes from being a black man, like being a black male, especially in our organization, PYPM, we have to struggle with the kids who come from the inner city who don't go to the Mackin schools because they refuse to believe in themselves. And the aspect of self-sabotage. That means you don't even really believe, you don't believe in yourself, but it shows in your actions. It shows in a way you can write a dope ass poem on stage, but can't write a one-page essay for your class. And that comes from own perspective too, because ask them. Before, when I was slamming on team, I had to struggle to keep my GPA up just to stay on team. Even though I'm writing dope ass poems, I refuse to write a one-page fucking essay. Just refuse. And that comes from self-sabotage, which is an education that's deeply rooted in this fucking country for people of color.
We're struggling, and you can see it everywhere. We're struggling. Our food sources are literal. Our neighborhoods are just messed up, and I feel like there's a lot of roles, a lot of things components into this, and it's not an easy question to answer, and we're not meant to survive in this society. We're not meant to survive in this system. America was not built for us. The Constitution was not built for us. All of it is just all a lie. Our history is just lies. American history is a lie. A lot of it that they teach in schools is just a lie. And going back, Black history, a lot of it is important, but they just repeat the same, they say the same thing. There's much more to that.
I totally feel you. All of my classes last year, we talked about Black history, but we only talked about that because white people imperialized those countries, and we only talked about those time periods. And I'm pissed that I have to take those classes. I don't want to take 8 years of history. I don't want to take 8 world history, but guess what? My school doesn't doesn't offer that. I want to learn about those Asian cultures and the African cultures, but I can't because my school doesn't offer it. My school system is created in a way that you don't do that. Like, I only know of one person that ever dropped out of my high school. One person ever in the past 6 years. But beyond that, I just don't know anyone that went to my school. And it's so amazing to know that. Like, my school, and it's a rich neighborhood. It is. It's like 94% of students, at least every year, go to college. It's ridiculous. But because we all work, like, in my school, you work to get your, like, we have weighted GPAs. Like, our valedictorian last year had like a 6.8 weighted GPA. He took 7 APs his senior year. He worked his ass off to get where he wanted to go, and now he's going to UPenn actually to be some sort of engineer. I'm forgetting exactly what, but we have so many things that keep us within the school, that keep us happy. Like, I'm part of my school's jazz band. Like, my school's jazz band went to Savannah, Georgia for jazz festival that they played in, and they ranked like 4th or 5th out of jazz bands selected from the entire country. Like, there's so many things. There's a support system, like you guys were saying, that keeps us in the school. They don't turn us away.
I'm not trying to compare. It's not about comparison. It's not the same circumstances. It never will be. It never has been. And that's what I'm talking about. The idea that if you master the language of English, you're intelligent. You know how to use fucking synonyms and punctuation, so you're intelligent. You're valuable. You mean something. Then it's like, you get caught up in that, right? So it's like, I first got into poetry, it's like, oh, I'm master English, I'm intelligent. Then it's like, I go back to school, and I'm like, my teacher's like, no, don't say is, say are. Don't say I, don't say me, say I. You know, it's like this weird paramount of like, whether or not something is right or not. And you can't have that, and then still expect yourself to not be, you can't self-sabotage yourself. You know, you can't tell yourself that you can't, if you're not one way, then you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you ace your SAT, you're amazing. No, the fuck you're not. So what? Okay, you were able to pay for some Princeton review books. Okay, I can't afford that, and so I got a low score. You know, it's like I really don't appreciate that. And I was just, it's like they asked, it's just a system. It's just you got to understand the system and understand that you get in what you fit in. And it's like not being confined. You know, it's just all about not being confined, whether it's shackles or classrooms. You know, it's just not being confined. Because it's like, they ask, you know, this world needs innovative people. You know, this world needs people to design phones and design TV shows and shit. People need innovative things. But in urban cities, they're cutting the art budget. You know, it's just like, I go to a school for public policy. And it's 85% black, 15% Hispanic, 400 people. And the thing is, it's not you about to be the president. You about to be a senator. It's not about that. It's about understanding the policy so that you can be the one impacting it. Not so some person from Alabama can tell D.C. that black people need to go to a charter school. Like, you don't know that. You don't know that. And so it's really about taking your history and making it into your future, because at the end of the day, you have to be you. You know what I'm saying? I heard it earlier. The most, more than any degree, more than any test, you know, learning yourself so that you can help others learn their self is what makes you valuable. I don't give a fuck about the test, no GPA, no college.
When I was a freshman, I took pre-calculus honors and I took chemistry. When I was a sophomore, I took 3 AP classes. I took AP French, AP Calculus BC, and AP Chem. I did not realize how hard I would have to work in those classes. Despite teaching myself math in middle school, I was not prepared for how hard I had to work in AP classes. Up till that point, I got straight A's. When I entered in Calc BC, we had a pre-test over the summer assignment, and I received an 82 on it. I had to excuse myself from the room, and I broke down crying in the bathroom because I knew that when I went home and I showed my mom that 82, there would just be this look of like, what happened on her face, just like this utter look of disappointment, and I was not ready to face that. That kind of translated in myself. Over the past couple of years, I'm a junior now, I'm going to be a senior. Since that sophomore year, grades have become so important to me. And for multiple reasons. One is because my mom put so much emphasis on them. Second is because I personally care about them. Last year I took physics. Physics was particularly hard for me, and I ended up getting an A- in the class, and I freaked out. I could not handle it. I'm still dealing with that right now. It is very painful for me to have an A- in a class that I worked so hard at. I needed a 92.5. I was at a 91.6, and it just like I literally I imploded on myself. And the first month of summer, I did not want to talk to anyone. After I got my grades, my mom did not speak to me for 3 weeks. It was very painful. The last reason why I put so much emphasis on grades is because my mom instilled in me the notion that if you are Black, if you are Latino, if you are Indigenous, your grades need to be 2 times better than your white peers to get half of what they have. And that is something that I sincerely believe in. If you look at the statistics, colleges that I want to apply to, UC Berkeley, Black kids, you're reaching for the high 700s in the SAT scores. Asian and white kids, they can get stuff as like mid 600s, and they will still let you in Berkeley. In terms of scholarships, white students get 72% of the scholarships that are offered. Somehow people still think that we are getting Black kids are getting the most scholarships. That is not true.